Hey, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast morning show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus your video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, for April 27th, 2026, I'll run through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc., etc. Hope everyone's had a good weekend and having a good Monday so far. Yeah, I had a good weekend, did a lot of different things, got to play a lot of games. So we'll talk about that here in a moment. But yeah, and then it's Monday. Some people have a hard time with Mondays. I like Mondays, so just stay positive. It's the way you're gonna set up the rest of the week. So, anyway, there's some little advice. But hey, Jim Kellogg, Tron, it's good to see you guys in chat. And this shirt's a little puffy. I don't know. I'm just trying to look nice. I got work today, but let's okay. Let's talk about this weekend. I actually beat Pragmata. I didn't 100% it, but I kind of 100% the first playthrough. What happens is once you beat it, it then unlocks a some challenge missions, and then if you complete those, then it gives you a cinematic for the real ending or whatever. But for when it comes to just going through the main experience, beat it. Love the game. And as much as I say I really like the game, also I got to a point where I was like, okay, this can, I don't mind beating this here shortly. So let me show you something real quick. If we were to look at the game time, according to Steam, 22 hours, but in-game at the save file, I want to say it might have been closer to 15, maybe 15 or 16. The only thing that I think could account for that is, the times, as, one does with kids, and I have to press pause and go do something. I think there might have been a little bit of that. There's times where we're going out with the dogs or whatever, and I'll pause the game and go out. But usually I don't, see that a lot with games. So I don't know why I think it's very interesting how much it's, the disparity of the hours, but it's not a big deal. I just want to kind of frame, that. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys something cool. Let me get to the proper screen. Here is combat gameplay. And what's cool about it, and there's no audio on this. I'm just thinking, why is there no audio? I think, do I have the? Or maybe there's not. Anyway, but the point is just to kind of show the combat, how a lot of the game is, again, doing the hacking. Well, I'll left trigger, aim, and then start doing all these little hacking things. And that's what I'll do. I'll give myself space, do hacks. I've even had certain encounters with enemies where I didn't even shoot any of my weapons. I just did hacking tricks because I also have a bunch of mods all over that I'm using that help out, like increase heat. Heat is where you can then stagger and do a special on an enemy, basically just killing them faster. So I have a thing where there's like multipliers for the heat. Yeah, the combat gets really fun. And so when I said that, like at a certain point I was kind of ready for it's like, yeah, I've played this game, I'm ready for it to be done. It wasn't until the very end that the game really became this. And that, and maybe that had to do with the difficulty. So it could be maybe the base difficulty of the game is easy, but I also don't think that's necessarily the case. There are times where I've had boss encounters that they would kill me and I'd have to start again. I think the last boss, I was able to kill the second time. So that's the thing. It's like, once you kind of know what to dodge or what to plan out. Did I get that on time? Oh, yeah. And it's just crazy because I'm playing probably different than someone else might play. Just because there's so many options to how you use the mods, the hacking, and yeah, and then was that it? Did I beat that one? Yeah. This is one of the, I think, one of the last, like, of the Red Room challenges, but it's not like it's spoiling anything by showing that, but I guess what I'm getting at is, like, Everything Pragmata does is done very well, and it does a lot of different things that we're all already familiar with. Third-person shooting, sometimes mini game puzzle solving. So a lot of times there's mini games where you are just moving things around, connecting things. I was just playing the Alien Rogue Incursion. It has a little bit of that. What was another game I was playing? Uh, anyway, so it's almost just combining a mini game segment with third person tactical shooting that we're used to from like Resident Evil. So then the game just feels good in that regard because Capcom's really good at making it feel good. So we have this game that feels good to aim, to do a mini game with the face buttons, and then stacking mods. It's like, how are you going to play? How do you want to play the game? And I was all about power. Yeah, through weapons and hacking. That's mainly all my mods were. I even used a mod, and I used this for the last boss, where I'd have 20% more attack power, but 50% less health. And because part of my loadout, I was able to take advantage of dodge, slow-mo, auto attack, dodge, slow-mo, 20% or 10% more damage. So I was utilizing that because the plan was, instead of focusing on my health, just try to. Now, I did have to use my health a lot more because I had 50% less, the health modules that you have. But I think that was part of my tactic. It was like, I would have so much power that I can quickly just melt through the enemies, melt through the boss. And yeah, so it does, but it doesn't do anything revolutionary. It doesn't do anything new and different. You might think, oh, well, the hacking is new and different. I was like, no, that's just a mini game. It's just one of those mini games that we've seen, video games since like the 2000s, where maybe you have to connect certain wires. Again, the thing comes to mind is Alien Rogue Incursion. It's like these little, and it's almost like Crimson Desert has them. Sometimes when you come across secrets of loot, like it's like a puzzle box you have to get into. So, and it plays more like a mini game. So I think all that is done well. The other thing that it does well that I think helps it not be necessarily revolutionary and just be a lot of the good things we like is the graphics are excellent too. And actually, let me show that off. Let me where do I show that? So I have a lot of screens. I'm not going to show them all. Did I say a lot of screens? I'm not going to show them all because I don't know if it's spoilery. And this is in game. This is in game when I was doing something. I just changed the camera, and then another shot that looked really good. And then some cool action. This looks cool. This was in game. This giant gun here. What's another good shot? I thought there was another one that would be worth showing here. Let's click on this. Almost that. What's the one before? Yeah, this, I kind of like this, especially the draw distance, where it's almost like what we're seeing in the background almost looks like a painting, but this is a very pivotal moment that you come up to. So I think Capcom made sure to do the best if they, to make this look dramatic and engaging. Is that Master Chief's helmet? I know it looks just like it. It is hilarious. There's so many different, not so many. There's a bunch of different costumes. Like you can see, this is one I got near the end of the game. So yeah, Pragmata. I don't know what else to really say about it other than really let's just sum this up. It's a lot of best in class, typical gaming tropes thrown together in a very cinematic, succinct, and sort of almost it has this linear beat to it where you're still exploring on your own, but you are quickly navigating to loot that in turn upgrades you, that allows you to then do more things to there's so many ways because then I'm just thinking, hey, it's just like what Metroid Prime 4 should have been. Honestly, that's the way I'm gonna describe it. Instead of trying to say a bunch of words, that's the real Metroid Prime 4. And I remember when people were first when it was first being showcased and people were like, "Oh, is this a Mega Man game?" Which is funny, but no, it's a Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime specifically. Okay. Let's move on from that. It is very, yeah, just thinking back, playing through the game. There's another aspect, actually, I didn't talk about this that actually colors the whole thing, and I guess I should end with this, is as much as I don't care about story in games, the relationship between Diana and Hugh as you go is done really well, and it kind of pulls you in a little bit more. It really is. It's a neat story. It's not like scary. It's not like sad or you don't it's not like a Pixar thing. It's like presented in such a wholesome way. Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff going on. Shout out to Capcom. All right, so let's move on to some other games I've been playing. Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch played this on the stream Friday. Right? I think it was Friday. And then my brother came over that night. I was trying to get him to play, and he didn't really want to. We ended up playing Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and I don't think he really dug it. I was kind of showing him how, yeah, it's not the best beat 'em up, but it is interesting how all the different characters have different moves. And he wasn't too into it. So I was then playing with my youngest. He's about to be 13, and for it being Jay and Silent Bob, it's not as crazy or inappropriate. I mean, there's things that are inappropriate, but stuff that it's fine with a 13-year-old. But, as we're playing it, I'm starting to really see the seams sort of what unfurling from what was put together here, because it almost feels like it is the gameplay of Golden Axe or something, or Final Fight, where it's just you're just doing these 2 or 3 moves the entire time. There's a lot of moves in this, actually, but not in the. There's a lot of moves, but not a lot of options for fighting, right? So I love that X and Y are the 2 attack buttons, so you can do combos, and there's a dodge. That's awesome, but it's really is just simple as that, and the enemies take forever to kill. And I remember bringing that up when I was doing that first impressions video on Friday. I was like, okay, the enemies, they kind of take a while, and then it drags on, and I went that whole level like getting hit once. The level me and my son were on, we weren't really getting hit until like the end, and then we both died, and we're like, okay, that was harder than we thought. And then we had to start the level over, which again is fine. But because of how long it takes to fight enemies, it's like, wow, do I really want to sit here and do that? I was really thinking that. I was like, the graphics in this are gorgeous in the Jay and Silent Bob game. But like if I die in a level and have to restart, it's like there's nothing else really going on for it. And it's more of, do I really want to, and I kind of want to beat it. It's it's hard to explain, because I think for $20 for the graphics, for the setting, even the gameplay, I think it's worth $20. I really do. I just, it could be better, and it's actually pretty hard. I can see them patching some things just because, and I've been seeing this recently with beat 'em ups, especially the Power Rangers beat 'em up that came out. It was like the year before last or something. I remember I was so excited about it, and it was kind of cool, but kind of not. The G.I. Joe one also, that one was even worse. Even though there's good things about them because they're beat 'em ups. This needs to be a whole video series about like the beat 'em ups and where they rank, because there are things with both the G.I. Joe and Power Rangers game that they had to tweak gameplay wise. And I'm just thinking with how this game plays. Actually, let's see if there's anything. I looked at the discussion, and pretty much people are complaining about the gameplay. But I was going to see if maybe there's something about a patch. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. Both the Power Rangers and G.I. Joe games got patches that tweaked the gameplay to make it a little more playable. Yeah, a lot of people are having these like freezing and crashing issues also. So I do think this game, I'm going to stop playing the Jay and Silent Bob game for now and wait for some patches. And again, it's not necessarily because technically, it's gameplay-wise, it doesn't I feel like they can tune it enough to make it you more willing to spend time with it. Right now, the way the combat is tuned, I mean, at the beginning of the second or third level, was it? I got a 100 hit combo pretty easily. 100 hit combo because you're just sitting there, hit. Like you can chain where you're hitting forever, but it's like, okay, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to hate on this yet. All right, next up, Silent Hill F found a deep discount on this. I really wanted to buy it on Xbox because it was Xbox and PC, but it was just such a deep discount. I just had to grab it and get it started. And the game looks great. Again, playing on PC, the game looks and runs great. And it was just a matter of the DLSS too, because I think it defaulted to the AMD stuff. I forget what it's called. And I remember I was supposed to like, it's choppy. I guess I got to turn graphics down. But then when I looked, DLSS, I have a 3080. Runs good, plays good, but I guess I'm at a beginning part, 36 minutes in, where there hasn't really been any combat. It's just been dodging enemies, and I was so used to perfecting my abilities in Pragmata, like the moving. What do I have in my arsenal? How can I make the most of this situation? That so far in Silent Hill F, it's pretty boring when it comes to running into an enemy because I can't fight them yet. I guess that might be later, so I'm just kind of dodging and walking around and it reminds me why I stopped playing some survival horror games, including Resident Evil, where sometimes the game was spending too much time trying to make you scared when really I'm just looking for the mechanics, the gameplay. And I can see that sometimes the fear, the scary part would then inform how someone plays, and that was definitely the case in the past. Not saying I don't get scared of games. I remember when Doom 3 first came out, man, playing that in the dark. Oh my God, that was scary. But just like horror movies of recent, like I've stopped getting scared. I think that might be just age and experience. But so anyway, I'm just hoping Silent Hill F, like again, everything I've read about Silent Hill F is like it's combat heavy. There's exploration. That's exactly what I want. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, this other one, Metal Eden. This is one that I've had on my wish list for some time. And then Sean, we were hanging out and he was telling me that he got it, and we do the Steam family thing where, we can play each other's games. So, I went to download it and try it out. Chris, have a good one. And it's actually pretty good. Kind of. It plays like Doom Eternal. It plays like a modern Doom, right? It's a lot of, I love the controls. In fact, I think I switched the controls. So in Metal Eden, A's jump, B's dash. In Pragmata, A's jump, RB is dash. And there's just something about keeping my thumb on the look stick while pressing RB to dash so I don't have to take off my thumb to press B to dash. So I changed the controls in Metal Eden. RB is dash, just like Pragmata. And it's fun dashing around shooting. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is really just Doom. And let me just show you what I'm getting at. Like, and I've told you guys, I have like a 20 to 30 hour threshold with games. I played 7 hours of Doom: The Dark Ages, and I didn't really like that. It didn't really play like I thought it would. But I had played 27 hours of Doom Eternal. I also played 2 hours of Doom on PS4, but 39 hours on PC. And I even have this achievement here. Does it? Oh, achievement's not working. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'll forget it. I'll forget if I don't talk about this later. But this achievement happened to do with multiplayer. I think this one, just because a lot of the time from this Doom, the 39 hours wasn't just playing single player; it was playing multiplayer. And yeah, I've always been big on. That's interesting. Doom. Oh, because Doom 3, when it came out earlier, that wouldn't be logged here. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is Metal Eden. If you like the Doom games, Metal Eden plays exactly like that. And it has this main gimmick, other than shooting, is a cooldown for a thing where you can from a distance rip an enemy's like core out, a heart, a core, whatever you want to call it, and then you can actually throw it back at an enemy and it explodes, or you click, no, you hold down LB and you absorb it so that you can do a powerful melee attack for armored enemies. So that's kind of its like differentiating thing. It's like in Doom, you would do the thing where you would go up to them, kill them, get stuff, and it's kind of that same thing used, and it's jumping around, dodging, doing all that. So again, Metal Eden is cool, but I think for now, I moved on from that. Ultramarus. Oh, it's free on PSN or yeah, might as well check it out. It is a Doom-like. I just downloaded it free through PSN, but I've only played the demo. Oh, okay. So I got premium. Okay, cool. That's cool that it's on there. That's really neat. Okay, and then another thing, I was showing my brother Dominus collection because I was just trying to get him to be as crazy about the games as I am, because we were just hanging out and all that. And then I think Thursday night, and I might have already talked about this Friday, wasn't it, where I jumped a little bit into Crimson Desert, but I think that's about it. Anyway, that was a lot of fun playing a bunch of different games. But here's what we got to do now. I got to update this. So the games I beat, yes, I have Crimson Desert on there, even though I haven't beat it yet, but it's one of those things where I've played it enough. I mean, I played it so much, 50 hours nearly? Or actually, let's look at it exactly. 49 hours and 10 minutes. And I'm going to be playing more this week since I finished Pragmata. It's just it's such a great game, but I can put Pragmata on here. Don't know how I would necessarily rate each one. Let me put the J in Silent Bob game. Let's see what else. Oh, this just showed up this morning. This morning I was playing Lords of Exile. It's I did that recent podcast with Dongold, the YouTube channel. We're talking about Castlevania stuff. And then, anyway, he had a video about the new Saint Slayer game from Lilimo Games. And I was interested in that. It's just sometimes when people make like the 8-bit style games, sometimes they're too much like the 8-bit style games, and I kind of get tired of it. And that kind of seemed like it was, because Lords of Exile, even though it seems like that old school Castlevania, it controls very well. The music is awesome. It's super intense. This is shocking how cool Lords of Exile is. Yeah, shocking. Okay, so I need to put that, and I put that in previous, or actually, no, I put it here. If I beat something from a previous year, that I would put that here. And I think there might be more that I'm not. Yeah, let's put Silent Hill F and Metal Eden. Okay. Let's see. You know what? Wait a minute. Did Marvel Cosmic Invasion, didn't that come out this year? Or was that last year? Marvel Cosmic. Did I? December. That was last year. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Let me see. Did I have it on here? Huh. Yeah. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Okay. Cool. So, okay. I'm trying to think if I feel like there has to be something from a previous year that I beat, and I just don't remember. Oh, yep. I do now. It was Gundam 1 Year War, PS2. Heck yeah, the review is up on the Gundam Explained channel for that. Yeah, the Sigma Star Saga, I really want to get back into that and beat that. I don't think it would take me much longer to beat it. Let's see. Oh, Replaced. I started Replaced. Got further in Captain Blood. Scars Above. Yeah, there's a few other things. Oh, Ariana and the Elder Codex. This is something I want to get, but I don't know if I want to get it on PC or Switch. It comes out in a couple days. And then I wonder if it's yeah. Yeah, anyway. Let's look. Okay, I don't, I don't need to be super on point with this yet. I just want to start getting some stuff in here. It is strange. I mean, there are some big games here that I beat. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles DE. No. Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War, that didn't take too long. Scott Pilgrim didn't take too long. Pragmata, decent. But yeah, Crimson Desert, that's going to take some time. Okay, I've got this, yeah, pretty much updated pretty good. Okay. Let's see. We're near the end here, but I did actually bring up some news articles. Let's see. This one being about the Steam controller. I think I talked about this last week about the potential that some things leak to shipment, whatever. Apparently, there's videos that are going to go up as reviews, and one went up. Yeah, I guess there's an embargo basically. And so here's the thing: I love video game controllers, and I'm settled on what I think is the ultimate controller, and that's the sorry, it's wired in to get the ultimate experience. It's the FlyDigi Vader 5 Pro. But this is the S version or whatever. It's the version that you can hook up to an Xbox and use because, and it was cheaper that way. And I like it wired. But anyway, there's a lot of interesting things going on with the controller. When it comes to playing 2D games, I do like where the D-pad is sitting, and it looks like a nice D-pad. However, for 3D games, I'm not too sure, although the positions of the stick, even though, and I don't have a controller like that right next to me, the PlayStation controllers, where they have the thumbsticks lower. But what could be happening here is everything is adjusted higher, even though the thumbsticks are in, they're still higher. Again, we're getting into some crazy, controller talk here. But I think there's potential for this controller to feel really well. The other thing is the touchpads below. That makes so much sense. In with the PS4, the DualShock 4, Sony implemented that touch pad at the top of the controller. Even with the DualShock 5, DualSense 5, it is odd to reach for that. It's not bad. I can do it. Done it in games like Ghost of Tsushima, like which way to go and the wind goes that direction. The touchpads being down low, I think, is where the analog sticks would have been if this was straight up Sony or PlayStation ergonomics, right? But I think it seems like it's a little higher up, which is cool. I really feel like that's going to be a good grip for, especially you see how long the grips are for the D-pad, and I'm really excited. And yeah, with those touchpads below, I feel like there's a lot you can do with that, especially navigating mouse if need to, but even other games that I feel like there's a lot that can be done. So I'm excited to see what comes with this controller. $99. Okay, so that's the thing, $99. I don't know. Okay, we're getting near the end here. There was a couple things. So apparently Nintendo is currently pitching a Metroid movie. Sony and Universal are in close race to win the rights. Wow. I mean, I don't doubt it now. It looks like they're going all in. In fact, I think there was another rumor about a Star Fox movie in 2030. So, I mean, I guess that's the play here. And I hope, in what I'm getting at is, we're seeing a lot of these video game properties being made into movies. They seem to be mostly doing good or being respectful of the property. Hopefully we don't get into a spot where it's back to slop again, or schlock. Slop is being used for everything now. But anyway, but I think what this does is it allows maybe the video games to continue to grow, because it's very interesting. I was listening to an interview with Adam Boyes and oh my god, Victor Lucas, Electric Playground, talking about the market and talking about how the market has changed a lot, and really, what people expect and how they expect to play. It's completely different. It's just how, people are growing up, coming into the world, and they have different experiences or lack of, and sometimes there's newer ways that they can be engaging or playing games. But I think keeping movies around about a game to get people to then go back and play, I think is the best way to do it. So I'm cool with that. And then lastly, Alien Isolation 2. Maybe I forgot about this, but they have a little teaser up at the little emergency phone thingy. So it'll be interesting. It's funny just, playing that Alien Rogue Incursion right now. It's perfect time for Alien Isolation. In fact, Rogue Incursion is good because it's more of a shooter style isolation because you're actually killing aliens all the time with different guns. So anyway, that'll be it for today. That was it for Monday. A lot to get off my chest. I had a lot of fun playing different games this weekend, but at the end of the day, that's a weird phrase, After this weekend has concluded, I have myself concluded that Pragmata is a game that's worth your time, and I think it's good for the industry that this game exists. It is a bit simple, but it has very interesting mechanics to keep you engaged, and it has a linear yet explorative type of atmosphere. It's interesting how it does it, but it works. So anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. That was a lot of fun. I'll be back tomorrow on the Gundam Explained channel if I stream it correctly. Anyway, guys, we'll talk later. See ya.